Welcome back, everyone, to the Verizon VALORANT Game Changers North America Series 2, where we are now tied 2-2 in this grand finals with Shopify Rebellion, tying it up on the board on that last map on Sunset. And Mimi, it feels like we almost saw a reversal of what we saw on Icebox, where we saw SR get a huge lead in that first half. FlyQuest attempting to make that comeback, but in the end, SR pulling out the victory.
Yeah, Shopify looked lights out on their attacking side. This Breach Gecko composition was pounding on the executes. Late rounds, they were catching out the rotators constantly from FlyQuest. But this game got so scary for Shopify. The only rounds they were picking up in that second half were those two thrifties to keep them in it. If it hadn't been for that from a couple hero plays stepping up, there's a very, very real chance that this could have just been series over and FlyQuest taking home the title.
Yeah, absolutely. But going back to the pattern that you're talking about, Sue, right? The Icebox fake comeback that we had, and then now this one. Surely this last map, they're going to bring it, right? We're going to have a really close map the entire way. Surely. Because right now, it definitely feels like they're going back and forth in terms of who is feeling it on that map. And this one, I mean, we talked about a lot. Actually, all series long, I think the post plants have been phenomenal from both teams. So trying to find places where you can get those quick retakes is going to be hard on Breeze, but on this map in particular, I think Shopify definitely pulled through. And you're right, Mimi. The ecos, you can see it on the timeline in some of these situations, especially in that second half. But even in the first, right after the pistol round win from FlyQuest, they're just so good from Shopify. They're able to, feels like, pull them out on a whim, at will, whenever they need to, right? It's crazy from them.
Yeah, it's so many just moments that are just magical from Shopify. I think, Floor, you have to talk about her after this game. Anytime this team has been struggling, there is always just a map where she's coming out and putting up massive rounds like the ones that they closed out this game on. This comp is almost completely built to set her up for success. We saw on both sides of the map, they have so many different ideas with these early double satchel plays off of that Gecko combination with the breach stun, some util set up to that effect. It was really effective, I think, to get them out to a ton of early leads in these rounds, especially on that attacking side. And that's also a good sign for this squad, with her probably playing onto that jet now for Breeze.
Indeed, we talked about the thrifties a little bit as we looked at that post-game highlight reel, but the thrifties were such a game changer, for this last map on Sunset, because we saw the lead that Shopify Rebellion were able to get starting from that even second round.
Yeah, these are ridiculous. And it's not just been this map. Although this map, they were super important, but it's been every single one. I even think back to Lotus, a couple of the rounds that Shopify was competitive in was those thrifty rounds. So yeah, it's sometimes just classics, but a lot of times led by Floor and that Sheriff. Oh, good. What she's able to do, it's insane what the Shopify team can do.
But again, it really feels like watching this performance from Shopify. They have been this tournament so much more reliant on rounds like this, and it doesn't take away from how impressive the players are to pull these moments off. But it feels like with teams like especially FlyQuest, as we've seen throughout this entire series, really pushing them, it has been that extra 1%. Those late round clutches, those thrifty round wins that have kind of had to be almost relied on for Shopify to keep closing out these games that look like they should have no business winning.
Indeed, that just speaks to the prowess of Shopify Rebellion. When times get tough, you do rely on those hero plays. And we've talked about Flores and time again throughout this entire best of 5, but kudos to Noya as well, who had an amazing game on Sunset Bala.
Yeah, I think in that first half, you saw a lot of clips that Noya was taking over. I mean, at the beginning of this game, it was 8-1 or something like that to start things off, and it was because Noya was being able to just be in the right positions at the right time. There you saw her in mid. Here you're seeing her spray through on that post plant, right? Always being alive in those situations. Moments right here where she's playing really well with Alexis's breach stun. Again, the post plant here, constantly getting the lurks off and getting the proper cutoffs against Fly trying to get back into this. What was this on the last round? Just some silliness.
People just jumping around corners.
It's the grand finals, and they're doing that. There's still like 40 seconds left on the round. They're like, whatever.
Getting a little silly. I think it's actually really hard when you play a heavy execute comp like this to be that solo Cypher player, because you're going to have a lot of rounds where it's like a 4-1 hard execute, and then Cypher is set up in mid late, or when you're splitting into the A side, Cypher is the only one going apart from the rest of the team. So good teams like Fly are going to put an emphasis on trying to flush that player, fight into that weak side, and shut that Cypher down to get themselves space to escape the execute. But consistently, when Fly was going for those plays, Noya was coming out the better of it, staying alive, buying time with her cages, and setting the rest of her team up for success. Absolutely pivotal to rocket Shopify out to that massive lead they started this map with.
Now with the map score being 2-2, we are headed to our final deciding map, and it will be on Breeze. Now, we were curious if we would end up on this map because we've seen some really great plays coming out for both Shopify Rebellion, but of course FlyQuest Red as well, Bala.
Yeah, this has been such a close series. I can't imagine that it ends in a lopsided manner again, and as well, it's back and forth every single time. This one's super interesting for me. Breeze is a map that I think Shopify has experimented so frequently on, but as of late, they're kind of going back to standard stuff, and they haven't been relying on it as much as they used to in the past. Right now, they're going up against Fly, who I think as well we really haven't seen too much of, and they haven't been experimenting as much. So both teams, I mean, there's a little bit of chance of some shenanigans with the Reyna. We saw them pull that out yesterday against Passion Project. Maybe you were pretty excited about that. And it has some value on this map. But in this grand finals, the shenanigans are so, I don't know, it's very risky to go, and you need this last map to win it all.
Yeah, you absolutely do. But their Breeze was good when they played against FlyQuest, when FlyQuest played it against Passion Project, that is, and the player who was really the star for me was Starbound. They had an incredible map on their attacking side. Their lurks were on point throughout, and on the defensive side, anchoring the B site, which was getting hit so many rounds, they were lights out in that regard. This is one of those two players that's a part of that EG core, the only team to beat Shopify in a VCT Game Changers North America final. That happened stage 3 of last year, and a big part of that was Starbound's performance on that run up to GCC. And seeing that them find that form again here, going into a map 5 against the Shopify, who you have managed to beat before, that's got to fuel a player like them up to come out here and have a great performance.
Yeah, especially I'm sure Jovi right now, when they're talking about this map going into it, trying to bring back memories of that map yesterday for Starbound, because it was excellent. I mean, 6-0 first kills to first deaths. It's for a Cypher player whose site is getting hit quite frequently, who they're anchoring, that is not that easy to pull off. You often see some good ratios in that regard, but 6-0 is really, really, really good. And you just saw Noya as well on the Cypher on that Sunset. On the other side, go ballistic in the same type of manner we saw in those highlights from Starbound. So I'm really interested in that specific battle on this Breeze map.
We talked about how on the last 4 maps that we've seen in this best of 5 thus far, we've kind of seen a sort of one-sided the first 2 maps, attempts at comebacks in the maps 3 and 4. In order to see the most competitive map on map number 5 here, Mimi, what would you really like to see from the compositions from both teams in terms of players as well as individual performance?
I don't want to see anything change, to be honest. I suppose for the side of FlyQuest, you could go back to that default comp. They're giving up the KO to lock in the Reyna, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see them consider that one, but also, there's so little turnaround. When you get this late in a BO5, this is where I think it's a lot harder to have the strong prep to come out with a perfect game plan. Both these teams barely play Breeze. Both of them we have only seen once in recent memory in Game Changers. So this has to come down to the IGLs, the adaptation on the fly, and especially just to these individual players. FlyQuest is playing a double duelist comp. Dodo and Sonder have got to be great, and it's exactly the same for Floor on the other side. She has been ridiculous all tournament, the undisputed best player in this scene, but you still have to close the deal when it counts.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for Sonder in particular, I think back to that grand finals they had on the international stage in map 5 on Breeze way back when against G2, and how difficult that was for them to stay composed. Here now, she has the opportunity to do it again in a best of 5 and to complete the series win for her. And that would be fantastic on an agent right here like Reyna. That is so momentum based. And coming back and bouncing off of that last map, it's not going to be easy, but it's definitely doable here for FlyQuest.
If Mel and Alexis can close out this map, it'll be their 10th win ever in a Game Changers. No one is even close to that. But this squad, led by Thea and Starbound, they're the only 2 players who have beaten them in a final before, and they have a chance to do it again here.
Absolutely, Mimi. You said it yourself. Will we see Mel and Alexis lift their 10th Game Changers trophy today, or will we see Thea and Starbound win their second? It all comes down to this with Doug and Baby Bay.
Thank you so much, Sue. These 2 teams have played 5 times in their history. 3 of those 5s were in a grand final. Yeah, some of them were close qualifiers. Some of them were main events. The truth is they have danced on this stage way more than once. And now, Dre, an opportunity for things to be settled on Breeze, a map that has so many questions around it. Again, are they going to run the Reyna? Are they not? And now we know they are. What's Shopify going to cook up? I think Bala made a couple of really good points around experimentation on this map. I think we're due for a good one, man.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a great match. It looks like it's just going to be standard from kind of both sides. I mean, this is nothing new from FlyQuest. We saw this happen yesterday. It didn't look that clean, though, so I'm a little bit worried about the Reyna pick. That being said, they are on the defensive side. They might be able to be proactive on this defensive side and kind of put a pace on, which is something that they couldn't do in that last map. And here comes the first contact. How does she still get one? How does she still get one?
You were looking for? I don't know, man. It's crazy.
That was insane. The tracking was insane.
Shopify are going to open up the side and head towards B. Thea attempted to be a bit of a nuisance and unfortunately wasn't able to find anything there. Alexis is beaming too. Hang on. This is a really strong looking Shopify in the pistol. They still have so much to do. Starbound and Lace are still up. The flash is really nice, and honestly, off of that, you can tell they don't even really want to swing. They know they can just wait this thing out, leave Starbound alone. A 1v3 is turned into a 1v2. But they still have to figure out how to get through the spike as well. And no real idea of where the second player is. You have an understanding of the first. Starbound goes hunting. Now Spidey senses tingling. Snapping over to the last!
This is no
what?
Is there time?
I think there is! Starbound, what in the world was that? The Red Bull clutch for FlyQuest, what a start!
That was absolutely insane. It's actually ridiculous, the amount of clips that are being shown. It looks so flawless at first for Shopify. The trades were left and right, but this little flick right here, the readjustment, the poise to secure the kill, I thought for sure Flora was going to close that one out.
Yeah, I think everyone did.
Unreal.
And so into the next we go with Heroics already rearing their heads in the first round of map 5. And honestly, we would not have it any other way. Only a Marshall in the hands of Shopify other than the pistols.
Still can't believe what we just witnessed. What a 1v3 in that moment, 1v2 at the end.
Yep.
So hard to pull off against a team like Shopify. It will be slowly creeping up into this halls. A lot of space gathered. Lace did an early drone and got info. Can Floor connect here? Is a pixel angle. Almost does.
All info there for Lace. Manages to dodge the bullet and manages to deal a little bit of damage on the other side.
And a cheeky little dart there to follow up as well. A weird wall here from Mel.
Deep. Really intent on trying to keep the fight on the site. Oh,
how does that happen?
Lace, I'm really not sure, Lace. That wasn't supposed to go that way, but now Sonder has arrived on the scene with a Vandal in hand and 2 targets to find. Both of them with slivers of health. Seeing again this messiness, and you know, you and I have talked so much about this. It doesn't always have to be clean. It doesn't always have to be pretty. The round hits the same, but be cautious about giving Shopify any ground.
Yeah, and all that free space that they accumulated in halls there, this is all stuff that Mel can use in her Rolodex later on in the half of just bringing out different type of stops, different type of strats. You know, understanding that that is a big gap that was open. And yeah, it's just an eco round, but you like to get a feel on the eco rounds of how the enemy team likes to play, unless you're going for like a bomb plant or something off the rip. And
yeah, you're feeling out the map.
Yeah, Mel got a ton of info.
We'll see how long it is before Mel decides to bring that back up and use it to her advantage, to Shopify's advantage. Down 2 rounds here, but with plenty of guns to work for. Alexis 1 away from her ult.
And this has been a slow approach from the side of Shopify. The fear of the force is always a factor. And she's reading into it. Because if you look at the side of FlyQuest, I mean, everybody's bought up. They're fully invested into this round. The re-clear down mid, this is going to give all info to FlyQuest that this is a lean towards B. That's why you see Lace already moving over. Will the timing be made here? Is Mel going to get caught off guard? Oh, just in time.
And now they can push forward, having to deal with what's before them and what's behind them. What a start for FlyQuest. I mean, they've kept them back. They're going to bonus them.
Starbound picked up 3 on the site.
Last player standing.
As all that chaos was happening, it's all left down to Noya in a 1v3, having to do what Starbound did to set the pace of this map. This time, rifles in the hand.
I think the pace is set, man. I think the pace was set on the pistol. Shopify are going to have to find a way to slow this down.
That was insane proactivity. The timing was almost, I mean, it was perfect. What do you mean almost? It was perfect.
It was perfect, yeah.
I'm talking back to myself now. But Starbound, 9-0. What a start.
This goes here.
Cypher could be so so pivotal on a map like this. Being the solo anchor, able to get kills like that. Yeah, you have some help from the outside, but it really comes down to you and how you can finesse around the site, how you reposition yourself before the chaos happens, in the middle of the chaos.
I believe it was Bala who said on the desk that if Starbound is able to get going, there's a really good shot at this. And if I'm misquoting you, Bala, I'm sorry, but I'm going to give you the credit because Starbound is 9-0 right now. And FlyQuest are up 3. This is about as perfect of a start as you could possibly ask for. And then you have those plays really leaning into using the Leers in a way that you wouldn't necessarily expect.
Oh my gosh.
This is beautiful.
It's the smothering approach again.
Yeah, what does Noya do there?
Nothing. You hope you kill at least Lace there. That's it. You get traded out instantly, though. Or at least you should. But yeah, the key to success for FlyQuest on their defensive sides has been the proactivity. That's something that we didn't see at all on that Sunset map. But in this series overall, every time that they have actually truly taken over a defensive side, it's been being proactive. And it doesn't have to be at the start of the round. I mean, we saw them do it in the mid-round 2 rounds in a row now.
Into the 5th we go. Donut with an op in hand. A lean towards Halls, too. Going back to the conversation we had a couple of rounds ago about when it would be that Mel would try to expose that area of the map.
There's an operator at the opposing end of that. So FlyQuest trying to read into that on this, second, third gun round for Shopify. No real reason to move away. This AWOL should be a giveaway.
Usually is.
Yeah, that's why you see Lace doubling back now on the minimap. Dagger doesn't connect onto Starbound, and who else would you rather have?
Wow.
You're anchoring this site. Oh! Big entry.
Apparently.
Yeah.
That's who you'd rather have holding down the site. Noya's dead.
Well, how does that not connect?
Just grazes right by hand. Floor on the swing, and there it goes. Floor active and online.
Going for more.
3 on the round. The 4th waiting on the other side of the box, but Thea getting the best of her. Dropping things down to a 2v2 with the spike in play. Alexis on the swing at 70 HP. Doesn't seem to care. Thea, the turn on the flash. 2 waiting on the other side. That stack is trouble. It's dangerous. The high-low. Isolating the fights into 1. Forcing Sarah to take a step back. Thea with still so much more to do. And as you see them rotate around the pillar, around the pyramid, no target will be found. No gunfight will be given Thea's way. Shopify are on the board.
A game of ring around the rosy right there at the end. Sarah just biding the time. Honestly, probably didn't even have to go for the kill, but just too confident in that moment. Understanding that there is no other choice. The bomb needs to be stuck. And that flash setup from Alexis, that was so clean, so beautiful. It was fantastic. Enabling her main duelist to just do what we just witnessed. And now all of a sudden, like that, the economy for FlyQuest is in shambles. Sonder forcing up an op for Dodo. Having to use a sheriff. And that's it.
You gotta believe in your stars.
It's
They're supposed to succeed.
Oh, Saunders should be dead to rights right here, but the support.
There it was. That's what you were talking about. Don't know with the op, and unfortunately she will fall, and this op will go down with her, but 1 kill found.
Such a risky position to play when you only have a sheriff to your name. I get it. There was supposed to be support there, but Shopify just had too many layers there. Will be a flip of the A site. Starbound, though, is still alive. Still has something to say. Molly will thwart that bridge from being advanced upon.
Flash not connected. The spit will make it possible.
Time is running down.
Very, very low. Starbound has such little health. Thea was healthier, but meets a similar fate.
There was a lot invested into that round for FlyQuest, and to not come away with that win. Your economy now is in shambles, and all of a sudden Shopify are back into the game from what felt like was full control for FlyQuest. It felt like there was no way that they were gonna allow Shopify to come back into this game, and now the ult economy in the favor of Shopify as well. You have Hunter's Fury online, Jet Knives for the actual entry if need be, Viper's Pit to secure it. Alexis coming up on that KO ult soon. Saving grace into this round is Dodonuts Jet Knives.
And how often have we seen Knives take over a round? I mean, we've had moments like that just in this series. But now it's Dodonut to try to replicate that same magic. First scalp spotted, not a single one found, but fortunately, Sonder was over the top.
Very awkward, but Sarah has something to say in response. Entering onto the A site, getting a kill in mid, then one in the back of yellow.
Dude, Floor almost tagged the players running through halls there with the op. That would have been insane.
Complete flow state moment. Sonder with that upgrade does get a kill. Another. A third.
Falling. Sonder with a third.
A fourth. A
Makes
fifth.
that the ace.
Unreal. The push down halls. Dodonut whiffing the jet knives, allowing Sonder to get that upgrade anyway. Getting the ace to clean it up.
We've got to take a look at that again.
This is crazy. This is madness. 13-4. Calculated for sure, huh?
Yeah, it was all part of the plan of the knives missing, so that Sonder could hit the ace at the end.
This shot was the most
just
impressive one out of all of them, honestly. That was
unreal.
I say it, you know, when you get peeked by an operator, you have to hit the headshot. If you don't, you're dead.
Yep.
You're done.
Oh yeah, especially when it's Floor on the other side.
Especially when it's Floor. Exactly. One of the best operas probably in the world.
Lear goes up, Sonder goes out. Well, it's not connecting quite yet, and Floor is going all the way back site, looking to take things over. Marshall looking for a target, waiting for a challenge.
What a cool Viper's Pit as well. I haven't seen this one before. Allows all a back sight. Finesse for the Viper. You have to push into that smoke anyway. And yeah, we were still stuck on talking about Sonder's ace in the round previous, but this entry from Floor, dashing in, nobody really aware on the side of FlyQuest. Allowing for Sarah to invest that Hunter's Fury. This should be a conversion for sure. Oh, Viper smoke is off as well.
Yeah, just leaving the tiniest of margins.
It's
The smallest of spots, and it's another thrifty. I mean, take us back to Sunset, Dre.
oh man, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back there.
I don't know that FlyQuest want to either.
I don't think they do either, but I mean, they just did it again. Maybe not able to settle all the nerves from that previous round allows for this gap to be made. No awareness that Floor already had dashed in and was just holding W the entire time. Securing the round at the end, an upgrade to an operator on the attacking side, and all of a sudden, the economy of FlyQuest, it's in shambles. It's a messy buy.
There they are.
Kind of forces you to have to walk down mid to get any type of value. This drone, it's going to sniff it right out. And no support here. Nothing. Say that as a Hunter's Fury gets put into full effect. No kills, though.
Floor almost got caught there. Keep an eye on the minimap. I thought Mel was going to hit a timing, but Sonder was a step ahead of it, ready, waiting.
Sonder's unbelievable right now.
Camera taken out.
Oh, are we at 20 kills for Sonder yet?
Oh my, if we're not, I mean, it's going to happen in this round. I could just feel it.
It's got to be close.
Starbound needs to not get caught here by the timing of these members of Shopify walking through mid door, and I think just... Oh!
Of course it was Starbound who punished Sarah.
The quick turnaround. Not aware of Alexis, though.
No, getting the best of Starbound there. The flash out as Floor drops Lace. Sonder also falling.
What's happening here? Another
It's always a
blunder?
mess. It's always a mess.
30 seconds left.
With 30 seconds left, Shopify are going to be able to slow things down for just a moment. Keep an eye on what weapons they have. They has a Stinger, Dodo Nut with a Vandal.
We're struggling on this with the operator. There's no way she's going to be missing that.
No. And they even to have the wherewithal to suspect the possibility of a second coming from the same place is just so impressive. Floor gets 3 on the round. Shopify gets a 4. We've been waiting for like a really close gigabanger of a map this series. We might have one on our hands.
Yeah, we definitely might. This was such a good start to the round for FlyQuest. Weathering the storm in the beginning, but the lack of discipline towards the end, which is honestly what got them this far in the series. It was the discipline that they had, the fundamentals, the lack thereof. It's been a big issue on this defensive side for them. You can't help but feel like there's a world in which they sit at what, like maybe 8 rounds.
Yeah, possibly.
I mean, they faltered to a 5v3 there, or 4v2, something of the sort. These are rounds that need to be won.
Yeah, they need to be converted.
And if you're going to give that opportunity to Shopify, we've already seen that they're going to run away with it. They're not a team that messes around. Give us any type of advantage. We'll take it like this. The gun advantage is one thing.
FaZe Classic surely not able to stand up against the heat. Was waiting on the other side. And so you've got a Marshall. Saunders still has a rifle, but well out of the play right now. Just now looking to get in a position to strike. Lexus gets a spike down, 2 pips away from having the ult online. And now they know where Saunders coming from. Is there another Lear? There is. Right in the face. And Saunders still getting a kill there. It's just ridiculous given how that played out, but Noya is able to slam the door on this thing, and we're tied at 5.
Floor there, hot in water and hot in flame. Ends up getting the kill. Little barrel to the face there. Starting to get a little bit ahead of the lead for her own team. That entry there. This is that barrel right in the mouth of Dodo. And the secure to the round on the post plant. 12-8. Attack operator still has the jet knives online as well, if need to entry. And now Alexis getting on that KO ultimate. Second one of the half. No operator to answer back from the side of FlyQuest, but a walk into A main. Reyna Lear has made contact, but sticking around for too long. Sonder getting tagged up.
Fortunately for her, that's all it was. It could have been a mess. And so what does Shopify do here? They've already invested a little bit of the drone. They've lost Mel. And with that goes all of their controller utility.
Right now, you just have to wait, see if FlyQuest are going to make micro mistake, maybe peek into the operator of floor.
Yeah, that's a big ask, man. Yeah, I hadn't even... Floor having the op almost makes things worse in this situation.
Yeah, I imagine at some point there's going to be an exchange of guns, maybe a dash out. This time it's just a KO flash. We'll secure space and bricks. Thea has all the info. Another pop flash to gain even more space and water. So
That's all the flashes they have, though.
Yeah, this might be a bomb planted. The slow walk up, though. It might punish Thea here.
30 seconds.
As I say that, players from mid doors come up in full effect.
I mean, they did well to get as far as they did, and they used the utility as best as they possibly could have to make it to that point, but there wasn't much more room for them to go.
Yeah, it was definitely an uphill battle. When you drop your smokes player, your Viper, on a map like this, it makes it just nearly impossible, especially with the way that Thea was playing that. Thea played that so well, not even giving an elbow or an even glance to floor, and then just feeding the constant information to the team to rotate all the way in, come up mid doors as the slow walk up came towards yellow, and that was all she wrote.
Standing ahead.
The dart takes to the skies as Floor pops the blades. Last round of the half.
Careful.
With at least 5 ults on the cards. Donut one away from theirs.
I cannot use that.
Already seen that used. One of them to nullify and cancel out Floor's blades. For the time being, Alexis on the swing. That's a beautiful flash. Nowhere for Starbound to go.
Yeah, the double right click. Starbound needed to just run out of CT there, give all the sight. You have no utility that you can use. That KO all through halls. It's too strong. Now it's a post plant. We've seen how good SR is in these post plants, let alone in a 5v4. Great time dart for Alexis. Oh my gosh, so clean.
For it to go down in flawless fashion to tie us at 6 is just absurd. Alexis just took over. 4 kills on the round for her. And it all I mean, again, that double right click out of doors, the swing onto Starbound. That's just so clinical.
So nice. That follow-up kill on the Sonder. That Lear, yeah, it could be so good sometimes. But other times, if you jump the gun too early, players are able to see a silhouette of you and just take you out like that. Just predicting where you might go, where they last saw you. That's exactly what Alexis did in that moment.
And so we're tied at 6, leading into the last half of this best of 5. What a story this has been so far.
Yeah, I guess it's that saying, you know, all bangers end on breeze.
Oh,
that's how that goes, right?
How it goes? Is that how it goes? Is that what they say?
Might not be there. It might be me. That might be what I say.
FlyQuest on the attack, a lean towards B. The wall goes up. The trip does too. I mean, they're certainly not trying to conceal their intentions. They have full steam ahead, but they haven't made their way out. Look at Noi's utility. It's so difficult to get through, and now that's a spike. They've got to try to stabilize and clean things up, and they managed to do so, but now Floor has arrived on the scene. She's going to join in on the fun. It's just Starbound and Lace now, both spotted by Floor. 87 HP, the ghost still in hand. It's a 2v2. Make that a 1v2 now. Starbound was a hero in the first pistol, but cannot replicate it here. Floor gets 3, Shopify take the lead.
Woo, that was a nasty round from Floor. The finesse in the back sight, the jump peaks left and right. You can tell she's dialed in, she's in the flow state. And this entry from Noya as well. That first shot was so cold, so clean. And look at this last shot. The dash forward too to disrespect. Chef's kiss moment right there. That was some nice work.
Isolate them and kill them.
FlyQuest choosing not to buy a Sheriff, a Ghost, but that's it. Meanwhile, Floor looking to get active once more.
So confident. This is so scary. This could be disaster for FlyQuest. Floor gets tagged
Down
up
to
really low
37
here.
Yeah, really bad. 37 HP here. Wall's closing in. Starbound is there on the other side. A second kill found with the classic.
Don't tell me.
Possibility of a third. It's a dink that's delivered.
One enemy remaining.
And it's cleaned up on the other side. Again, Thrifty this time, though, going the way of FlyQuest.
This is unreal. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. Mel, the IGL. Everything
with 3 targets to find. All classics. Patience in the way that FlyQuest approached the situation, and we're tied again.
I mean, you can't make it up. You really cannot make it up right now. What an answer back in eco round, the Thrifty. And that tag, yeah, Starbound didn't get the third, but that tag alone, allowing for the body shot to come through, makes the Marshall the scariest gun in the game at that moment of time. So Floor, although that pistol round fed in confidence, it was false confidence. Ended up working against her in that moment of time. And this is something we've seen all series long, these decisive hits on the anti-eco rounds. Yeah, sometimes FlyQuest in these series, they've been running into stacks. This time, it's a free B site.
Cautious here. Shopify posted up.
Oh, no.
Trying to funnel their way out. That's only been one.
That's flank open.
And Mel will gladly fill in on that space. FlyQuest not really concerned about it. Forced to reckon with what's before them. Forced to huddle in on the site. You've got Sonder who's holding window. Elise was. Oh, and Mel strikes. Just the right time. But again, the classic just isn't it. But hold on. It might just be. Donut left in a 1v4. Alexis can hold it the whole way. You've got a firing squad over your shoulders. Back-to-back Thrifties. Shopify take the lead again.
My heart's going crazy right now. These rounds are ridiculous. That was with classics and sheriffs. In these high pressure moments, it's just slipping away from FlyQuest. I mean, it's slipping away from both teams, honestly. When both teams have nothing to lose, when they got no guns to their name, they're able to step up to the plate, have no fear, and be decisive. No hesitation whatsoever. Some of the best Valorant we've seen has been in these eco rounds.
And some of the messiest. I'll certainly give you that. I think part of the issue too, Dre, is we have to ask ourselves who's most likely to make a mistake last, right? Because when this is what it comes down to, when you've got Thrifties going back and forth, something has to give. I don't know if this would technically classify as a Thrifty because there's still two rifles up for FlyQuest, but again, it's a 4v4.
I wonder now if Sonder decides to drop that Vandal to somebody else with light armor to their name. Maybe Thea or Starbound. Definitely, I would give it a Starbound for sure. Maybe just be a body bag with your flashes. But
Saunders been so hot this map, man.
yeah, definitely. I don't think that footstep was heard by Noya.
No.
This will allow for the slow walk behind Mel.
With no help over the top. I mean, Alexis is the only one pseudo close by.
Doesn't get the info.
30
Doesn't
seconds left.
hit.
Oh, and now Alexis is hot to trot. Alexis has arrived. The Lear goes out. Alexis hits the shot, and that's one of the rifles. And now Mel's getting in on it as well. The sidestep of the dart possibly secured this round. It did. What a play from Mel.
Yeah. The anchoring from Mel. She's so smart. All that experience that she has. She understands that mid door is a gap. And what does she do? She puts her back against the wall. She doesn't have to worry about that at all. I mean, if somebody walks all the way up, I mean, it is what it is at that point. But Alexis filling that gap in the right moment. And she's been having a hell of a game as well. 16 and 10. 6 assists on the KO. Right now, it's a timeout for FlyQuest. Red, Lace and Thea, they need to step it up for their squad. The calls have been really good all series long from Thea. Right now, lacking in the fragging department. Same with Lace. Lace sitting at 4 kills. Something that we don't see usually from Lace. Lace on the Sova, I mean, what? Usually drops 20, I feel like, every single time.
She's so consistent on the agent.
And with the way that she started as well, this entire series.
Yeah. I think we need to revisit a conversation we had around FlyQuest and particularly around Thea, because You and I talked about it yesterday. I believe Art mentioned it on the desk as well. When Thea's on, FlyQuest look unbeatable. But when Thea struggles, it really feels like there's that little extra that's missing. And so this is a defining moment for Thea, because if you could find a way to navigate a poor individual performance and still lead your team to victory, all of those thoughts, all of those conversations around, well, if Thea's good, then FlyQuest are good. If Thea's not good, then FlyQuest are not good. They're all gone.
Out the window.
This is a massive moment for Thea here. Forget about the kills.
Problem here is that drone reclear in mid with the follow-up of Floor. The setup. Even the KO dagger on the pillar, so no util is able to be used. That's such a great opening for Shopify to take this round away and put FlyQuest on another scrappy buy. FlyQuest need to win this round. But Noya, she's been so good at anchoring this B site, and the rotation from Floor is going to be here just in time. Another kill for Floor. Another one for Noya. The knives popped.
And Floor popped. But still a 2v4 here. Starbound and Lace with so much to do, they don't even have the spike tray.
The bomb is so far away.
Starbound on the swing. The shots will settle onto Sarah. But again, the numbers advantage that you have there allows for situations like that, allows for the trades, and allows Shopify to get to 10.
10 rounds. And now the economy of FlyQuest, it's in shambles. It's disaster. Shopify have a good chance right here to get to 11. Get even closer. This was that nice setup. Yeah, it wasn't even the person that was tagged, but Floor is ready for anybody following behind that. Noya, the anchor. Way too strong on that B site.
Get out of my way.
Jet Knives did get popped for Dodo Nut, and she's gonna have to come up huge for the squad. Nice little tag on the Sarah, should give info. Sova isn't towards that B rotate yet. On the opposite end, Floor getting all that free A main space, that A main real estate. This is going to allow for a complete lean over towards the B site.
FlyQuest have done such a good job of getting mid space, but you're right. Because of everything that they have A, there's so much that they can invest B. It's a luxury, really.
And these site trips are going to be so hard to deal with as well for FlyQuest. No updraft here to go through this wall. You just got to face check it. And face check it. Dodo Nut will do indeed.
Noya is tucked. Noya plays her position so well, and then gets the best of Thea on top of that. Been so impressed by her positioning, by her value through so many of these rounds. It's still a 2v2 though. And it's still a Marshall in the hands of Starbound. And a Sheriff in the hands of Lace. Can Noya do it again? An op in the hands of Floor. A little bit of a tap.
What?
Lace absolutely plucked out of the sky. And with 13 seconds left, Starbound is forced to make a play and just can't. Shopify get to 11.
That was such a fast shot.
It was ridiculous.
It looked like she didn't even stop, but she did. She stopped on a dime. As soon as there was a pixel seen on her screen. Fluorescent. Just taking him out. And then, yeah, Noya just tucked in the back sight there that entire time. And we thought for a second, FlyQuest knew that there was something up. Why else would there be a cage just up and ready right there?
Again, astounded by how well Noya played that. She's just so good.
Also, I gotta shout out Sarah, who somehow got the kill on a Dodo Nut who had knives fully popped up from CT. And then also Sarah getting the tag on a Thea there. That's why Thea, you saw her just looking around, flicking around, didn't know where she was getting shot from. That opened up the opportunity for Noya. So just that distraction alone of Sarah being there in CT and just being active. And I'm pretty sure she was walled off for most of that round. I think she actually just spammed Dodo Nut through the smoke. We didn't get to catch the kill on the replays. But now FlyQuest, this is their last time out. This is their last chance, their last hope to try to beat Shopify in a series this year. In a grand final. And they were so close, it felt like, even on this map.
Mel and Alexis are 43-2 in Game Changers NA. Let that settle in. Let that sink.
It's unheard of dominance.
43-2. And that's what FlyQuest have to overcome.
It's absolutely unheard of. And look at that dagger to get Lace off of the drone. Noya's set up in bottom mid here with full support. Everyone is here ready for this. A KO flash from mid door.
It seemed like she had it primed in at the ready.
With that wall going up, you got to be dialed in.
There goes up, but that should still provide a lot of room for Alexis to swing. Yeah. Oh, the molly. Lace getting cooked. Lace is dead. Shopify with the numbers advantage. Forget about knocking at the door. They're kicking the damn thing down. A great response from Thea, though, to keep things competitive, to keep things at 2. Mel, 1 away from her ult.
Oh, and Mel is ahead of this right now. This is insane from Mel.
Of course she is.
This IGLing, this game awareness, the game sense.
Yeah, the pathing here is really important. Yep.
It may have just slipped right past her. These moments are so tense.
Is the door open? I can't imagine it is.
I don't think it is. Should
And
be.
so Mel's going to cross all the way down halls.
I know
13 seconds left. They were so concerned about where Mel might be. And now it's confirmed. The neural theft is going to give position of both away. Spike will go down. Thea 1 away from her ult. But they're so weak, Dre. 70 HP on Starbound, 47 on Thea.
That's why you see Flora going for that rifle. No dash to her name, though. But this jet smoke, this one cloudburst could be the difference maker. Jump spot.
This feels like such a floor go make a play type situation. And let Mel kind of creep around and strike when the moment's right. The snap onto Thea was not good. Starbounds was, though.
Not
Now
planted.
it's on Mel. A 1v2. No spit, no utility, no time, really. There's a tap onto the first. Will connect, but the second swing never comes. It's too late. FlyQuest will get to 8.
The one tap at the end for Mel. It was pretty, it was nice, but the round did not go their way. FlyQuest. They kind of got the bitter end of that exchange in mid. It felt like Lace in that moment. I don't know what happened. Maybe nerves. Not able to keep those bullets, keep that spread together to get that kill onto Alexis, but it didn't matter at the end of the day. That trade from Thea, I mean, yeah, it was her first kill in quite a bit of time, but it was such an impactful one.
Yep.
That was a must-kill moment.
And that she did. FlyQuest sticking around in this thing. They've gotten to 8. You hear the pit invested from Mel. 10 seconds into the round.
This pit is so annoying. It gets mid-door as well as halls. Trip to follow up as well, so all Fluorescent has to do is just dial in on the crosshair. That dagger.
Ooh.
Did it connect on anybody?
I believe it tagged 2.
Tag 2 players. Oh, they're going to run into
What?
so much utility here if they actually commit to this B-split. You have a KO flash from Alexis that's lined up. You have a dart in the back. This is actually a great response from FlyQuest. I don't know if that camera saw them cross into Nest. I think it did.
Do they know? Yeah, look at
Sarah?
Sarah.
Look
Yep.
at the shift. Even Mel.
They're all creeping over. They know where they are. Sarah's not able to settle the shots, though. Saunder punishes with Empress online. Fighting for the crown, but is instantly broken. By Mel, no less. A second one found. Both duelists dealt with. Make that a third. As Mel, fully activated, getting 4. Getting Shopify to series point.
That was ridiculous from Mel. In the Viper's pit, coming out at the right moment, striking precisely. It was divine. Slipping back in, closing it out against Lace. I liked what I saw from FlyQuest. I liked the reaction, the entry from Saunder. The 180 flick to get that kill onto Sarah. Yeah, that was cold. But who was even colder? Mel. Just like that, we're at match point. Shopify Rebellion in the driver's seat. They want to take this one home. They want another championship title.
Deploying drone.
They have no buy. I mean, there's nothing that they can really do to stand up against this. Can Sonder find some success? Has a Guardian, but no armor. First shock through. Fluorescent on the reposition. No targets found. They've rotated away, but they've left their Reyna. And that's the kill found.
They gotta come back.
They still don't really have a ton, though. I mean, and even if they do, what are they going to pick up an Outlaw?
You have to use
There's
this
not much
Viper's
in.
pit. Yep. This Viper's pit has to come out. The plant
When's their
comes out
result?
too.
Not committed. There it is. Now online. Splitting the uprights at first. Still not connecting onto Sonder. Every single pulse misses. Sonder missing double shots in a row. The Lear out there, waiting on the other side, playing a position around the pillar perfectly. How do they get past this pit? Can they get past the pit? Noya on the swing, and Lace will fall. Oh, it's all on to Thea now. Every single one of them crumble. FlyQuest push them, sure, but dread it, run from it. Destiny still arrives, and Destiny is written by Shopify Rebellion.
Absolute dominant performance on that last map. Honestly, on most of the maps that they won. And yeah, you're 100% right. FlyQuest, they gave it their best fight, but it's just not enough. If you give Shopify an inch, they will take a mile and they will close it out.
Or in this case, they took 3. I mean, what a finish to that map. Just when it seemed like FlyQuest were gonna finally be able to get that monkey off their back. 5 in a row ended in losses against Shopify, and now that's 6. Mel was heroic to close out that series. How many times do we call her name out on Breeze?
Yeah. She was not losing that map. She was not losing that map, and she made sure of it with the calling, with the individual prowess. It was beautiful. It was honestly a beautiful map to watch. And Viper players out there, you guys should take some notes. That Viper's pit that covers halls and mid door with the trip, the whole setup of it, the reaction to the only gap that was there. It was all just, it was beautiful. It was wonderful. Big congratulations to Shopify once again.
Yeah, I mean, to do it again and again, and to do it for so many times is just absurd. I mean, it's a dynasty.
It's unheard of.
It is the only way to put it. We're going to throw it to a break. The Verizon post-map interview and everything else on the other side of this. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone, one last time to the Verizon VALORANT Game Changers North America Series 2 Grand Finals, where we have finally crowned our victors in Shopify Rebellion, who are taking down FlyQuest Red 3-2. Mimi, this is a result that I think we're used to, but perhaps different in the way that it was accomplished this time around.
Shopify really had to dig deep here, but they definitely earned it. Coming out here on Breeze with an incredible performance. I mean, we had Fluorescent putting on an absolute masterclass. She ends the series with 111 kills, only one behind the record that she set for herself, 112 when they won in Brazil. This team, even when they don't look in their absolute best form, when things look like they're not going their way, always find that opportunity to dig deep and come back in the end. They really took control of this Breeze, especially in that second half.
Yeah, I mean, it was perfect from beginning to end. Like, there was moments where you thought Fly might get back into that 6-6 in the first half. Made it look like it was going to be close, but at the beginning of that second half, they just took over. So, yeah, huge credits to Flora. I mean, she was amazing all series long. That's kind of what we expected from the 2 days ago in that upper final against Passion Project. But, yeah, I think as well, Mel played fantastic. You just got to keep shouting her out, because I think at the beginning of the series on Lotus, she started off a little low, and we were thinking about how that might actually affect the rest of the series. It did not. It really did not. She played fantastic, and I think some of the calling and some of the plays in particular that she was making on the flanks were absolutely perfect and kept them in the game too.
Yeah, they really did. Credit to FlyQuest for pushing this team. I think Sandra, especially in this map, was really making it go for it. This final must have meant the world to her after how many finals she has lost to this core. But when you talk about the core, Mel and Alexis, this is their 10th Game Changers North America that they have picked up. That's not even including that 11th title they managed to take in Brazil, and for the Women's Summer Showdown, the predecessor to Game Changers before that. These two's record in this tournament, in this scene, is absolutely unparalleled by anyone else. No matter the team around them, they've always built something incredible and shown some great resiliency gained through all those tournament wins to keep in it for this grand finals.
Absolutely. And also for the newer additions to Mel and Alexis's absolute dominance and the dynasty that they've built here. It's the fourth for the rest of them, Noya, Floor, and Sarah there. And Effie's as well, the coach of the team. Definitely has been dominant, and we already have had this discussion before. It's been over. The dynasty continues here with Shopify Rebellion. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I'm getting word that we have our champions on the line as we get ready for the Verizon post-match interview, so let's go ahead and bring the champions on. Mel, congratulations. What an amazing victory and just amazing performance year after year after year. Mel, I almost feel bad because every time I speak with you, the record continues going forward. There's so much to talk about, but I have to address the elephant in the room, which is, of course, this is your 10th Game Changers title alongside Alexis. Ridiculous records being set here. Just first things first, what's going through your head knowing this is the 10th time you're a champion?
10th time is crazy. I honestly stopped losing count. Like, once it hit 10, like, overall, I was like, all right, bro, that's cool. Like, I just try to focus on the now. I don't really think about too much. I think I speak with Lexi here too. We don't really think too much about the fact that we've won like 20,000 GCs or whatever. We always come into it like fresh, new, trying to win another one. Like, we don't want to get our judgment clouded by the fact that we've won other ones, because they're against other teams and people are always hungry, bro. And that's what FlyQuest really came in and showed. They're actually hungry. Despite being sick, they came in and played a really good match with us, to be honest.
Absolutely. It was a close series, especially when you look at the last time you guys faced each other in the grand finals. Back then, it was a resounding 3-0 victory for you and the team. But this time around, you really had to dig in deep for sure, because FlyQuest Red coming out with 2 maps on their end. What do you think were the biggest differences this time around versus last time?
I think this time, honestly, I couldn't really pinpoint it. I felt like our prep and our game plans were actually pretty good. It's funny, Epis is actually usually nervous before a lot of our matches, even in the open qualifiers, even against like, people, it's like round of 128 or like the first round in the open qualifiers of GC, and he'll be nervous. But it's funny, this time he wasn't nervous, and then we did a lot of prep and game planning, and then suddenly it goes map 5. So I don't know. I didn't wish I could say, but I mean, they were shooting back today. They had a lot of firepower. I think they might have had that like maybe the added like buff and nerf of like having
Mm-hmm.
nothing to lose, because I know a couple of them are sick, I think with COVID, if I'm not mistaken. So
Mm-hmm.
they might have been like, let's just play our best out there and show everything because we have nothing to lose. So definitely maybe some of that aspect.
So maybe a learning lesson is FEs needs to always be nervous ahead of ahead of
Unfortunately,
the
we might
series
have
that
to
you
tell the team to do
play.
that. Yeah.
He must be stressed out every single time. I'm curious, what was going through you and the team's comms after map number 1? That was obviously your map pick, and the map ends relatively quickly 13-5. That's not a scoreline that you're used to being in the position of receiving.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely caught us off guard considering the fact that one, we picked it first, assuming that it would probably their worst map out of the 5, just trying to get like a
Mm-hmm.
like an easy win. So it definitely took us off guard. Sorry, the lighting in here's a little crazy. It's giving club. Hold on, let me see if I can get the music on. Okay, well,
This is
next
our
time it comes
esports
on, I'll
after
put some
party right
music.
here.
Yeah, already starting without me is crazy. But sorry, I just lost what I was saying. I'm such a troll, bro. I'm sorry.
You're totally fine after map number 1.
Oh, right. After map 1, I mean, I'll be real, like, it definitely took us off guard, but Lexi came out of the bathroom and she looked at me and she's like, even a blind squirrel finds a nut. And that's why we had to keep it pushing,
Woo!
bro. We can't let it get us down. And obviously, like, I know I had like a really poor map, but you can't just let one map get you down. Like, there's 5 in the whole series and you just have to keep pushing.
Absolutely. What was going through the team's comms after you played a few maps, and then we see we're on Sunset, and suddenly FlyQuest Red is in a position where if they win Sunset, they can potentially win the whole thing. Is that something at this point with all of your experience that weighs on you at all, or was it the same thing where after map 1, Alexis comes out of the bathroom and you guys are like, nah, we're good?
Nah, it's definitely like we just take it map by map, honestly. I just
Mm-hmm.
prefer to like after a map ends, if we win or lose, I kind of just like forget about it. Even if we do win, I just think of the next map and what our game plans are and like what we want to actually do on this map and what our strengths are and think about their comp and what they're gonna do and maybe what their anti-strategy potentially and try to like show them different looks and stuff like that. That's mostly what's going through, at least my mind for the team. The team seems like they aren't really that affected by when it's in the middle of a match like losing maps.
I feel like in these best of 5 series, I feel like that's really when we see in-game leaders tested, especially the further into the maps you go, by map 4, map 5. For yourself, playing this best of 5, closing out Sunset, ensuring you guys tied up 2-2, and then playing out that last map, the first half ends 6-6. Do you feel that extra strain on being the leader of the team, or does your experience sort of speak for itself and you just lock in?
I think I just lock in. I think everyone just locks in. And I
Eh.
think my team came up really big at key moments. It helps when you on paper it's a 6-6 half, but we like lost pistol. And so a lot of the rounds we like accumulated was from gun
Mm-hmm.
rounds. And when I saw how we were winning the gun rounds, like if we were winning them like in a really sus way, I'd be like, okay, not as confident. But we were having like really high impact moments. Like people were rising to the occasion. Like people had huge suitcase in the first half that
Mm-hmm.
I knew we were just gonna carry momentum into the next half, to be honest. And our breeze defense has been looking pretty good as well in like scrims and premiere. So we were pretty confident, to be honest, even though it looks pretty close scoreline.
Yeah. On that second half, on that last map, when we saw the Thrifties coming out from both sides, once you won your Thrifty, were you and the team like, all right, this is over?
Dude, when we won that thrifty, Sarah literally was like, "Guys, we can literally thrifty them back." Because if you look on Sunset, the first half we thrifted and then won almost every round after that, I think. So it was like, yeah, we can actually thrifty them back if they can do that. It was like a really small thing that like set off the thrifty
Mm-hmm.
like domino when when they thrifted us. So we figured we'd do the same thing to them, and we literally did. So and after we won that, I'm like, okay, guys, it's kind of over. Like, there's no way unless they thrifty us again. But it was over at that point.
Absolutely. And now with another victory, I have to ask, and this is something I've asked you in the past whenever I've done these whenever interviews with you. I feel like making it to the top is one thing, but continuing to hold on to your reign at the top is quite another feat. And not only are you continuing your reign at the top, you're continuing to do so time and time again, stage after stage, year after year. I think most people watching at this point, we almost take it for granted, right? Oh yeah, of course, Mel and Alexis and the squad at Shopify Rebellion are going to win. But I think what people don't understand is the amount of effort and practice it takes to retain that position at the top. Is there anything you want the viewers and the fans watching from home to know about that grind that y'all are continuing to put in to preserve this position at the top?
We 100% put in a ton of effort. Like, we practice like a shit ton, and people are playing like ranked after and like grinding VODs, and Effie's is like, oh sorry, I don't want to cuss, but I almost did. He's working really hard as well, like behind the scenes, and we really want to make the next step, which is like co-ed, and we're grinding Premier. I think we're one of the only GC teams playing Premier. I don't think a lot of the teams at this event are, and I think that's something that really sets us apart, is how badly we really do want to make that jump. And we are constantly on a daily basis working towards that goal, and I think that helps us a lot in Game Changers as well. And I definitely feel the drive from my teammates, and we all just want to we all want to succeed, and we all have like the same goal. So I think that's what makes us important to us. I think now would be a good time for GC teams to start playing in like Premier and like participating in that kind of stuff, because I think I've said this time and time again that is always what sets us apart from other teams, and that always gives us an
Absolutely.
edge. And I think for this event specifically, our practice, like, we knew that other teams had really scuffed practice for like things happening like behind the scenes, and so we knew that if things get close, like, our practice is going to put us ahead of the other teams. Like, you can't beat hard work.
That's why Coach Effie's wasn't nervous out of the grand final.
Yeah, actually, yes. But, in practice, sometimes you got to squeeze out the maps. Like, Roger Federer, there's a quote that I was sent recently where, perfection's impossible. And you only, like, he won 80% of the games in his career, but he won like 54% of the total points. So really, you just need to win that like extra few percent ultimately, and just like squeeze out a win. Like, a win is a win.
I feel like I get chills every time I talk to you. Just truly inspiring.
Stop it, girl. I'm a troll.
No, girl. You don't understand. For us normies watching you do what you do, it amazes me every single time. Just kudos to you and the squad for showing up season after season, showing up the way that you do. Before I let you go, I want to give you one last shot at just thanking whoever you want to thank, whether it's Effie's or your teammates or the fans watching.
First of all, the fans watching, thank you. Anyone here watching the Shopify HQ, thank you. We gave you guys a heart attack. I hope you guys will forgive us. It's all for entertainment at the end of the day. We'll be playing in Premier playoffs this weekend as well, so continue cheering us on, and also cheer on the other GC teams. This is a really cool event to watch, with like Solstice upsetting FlyQuest Red, and just a lot of cool narratives. So be sure to support your local GC players. They need it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mel, as always. And congratulations once again on your 10th Game Changers title. Truly breaking records, setting history. We're just so happy to be along for the ride and continue to root for you. So thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you.
Man, Coach Effie's, we're learning. He has to be nervous every single time. Otherwise, we end up with the Shopify Rebellion fans getting a little bit nervous, but ultimately, they are able to close it out and become champions once again.
Yeah, they are. We're going to have to figure out a way to keep the anxiety as high as possible. This match will definitely be the way to do it. But yeah, I mean, it's always great to hear from Mel. Just such a level head. Keeps winning these trophies, keeps winning these moments, doesn't let it go to her head at all. Always focused on that next big goal. And yeah, I mean, the future looks bright, as it always has for this team.
I love the Federer quote, because I was just, she's like, oh, he's won 85% of the games or whatever, and I'm, I was talking about the stat 43-2, it's 44-2 now. That's 95%, so like way better, but like she said, it's the thinnest of margins that matter, and they come out with a best of 5 full maps, but they still win, and so that number goes up, yet the rounds amount might not increase by as much. This is such a ridiculous tournament. For everybody, I think. For Shopify, for Fly, I think that last grand final showed a lot of promise for the NA teams in Game Changers.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, we saw some new squads. Solstice, I think, the one really walking away, making that run, beating FlyQuest in the first, and even kind of making a little bit of a route in that lower bracket, picking up a second win there to make their way into the top 4 is really impressive. Passion Project is looking insane. Remember, they were 2 rounds away from beating Shopify and being the team in the final. There's a world where it was a Shopify versus Fly lower bracket final yesterday, this final that we got. These top 3 teams, I think, are closer than they've ever been.
Yeah, and to see Thea as well continue to challenge and potentially end up being that actual Shopify / Mel Slayer down the line. I'm really interested to see if that develops into a real rivalry, if it develops into consistent fights in the grand finals. Both series so far this year have been that FlyQuest team led by Thea against the Shopify team. And yeah, I mean, it's starting to look like one of those rivalries that's lopsided in the form of Shopify so far, but super interested because like that could be your Bill Russell versus Wilt type of narrative. Like always one team coming out on one team trying to challenge forever.
Absolutely. And what better team than FlyQuest Red? We saw from that bracket, they had a crazy run, dropping to the lower brackets so early on, winning 9 maps in a row, and really making it difficult for Shopify. Exactly. They made it really, really tight, 3-2, and even though it was a loss, I think they can walk away proud of the run they've had here. Until then, until Stage 3 begins in a couple of months, we are all done for Stage 2 here at the VALORANT Verizon Game Changers North America Series 2, with Shopify Rebellion once again being crowned as the victors as they win 3-2. Until we see you in a couple of months, stay healthy, stay sane, and I hope your matchmaking games go smoothly. Stay tuned.